Hi ladies, how are you all? Hope you're all doing really well. This is Sarah here again, your healthy eating tutor. So I'm here with another recipe today. Let me see if you can guess what I'm going to be making today. So got some clues here. We've got some mashed potatoes, some red onions, some green chilies, and then I also have some wholemeal flour. This should kind of give it away. Well, if you haven't guessed already, we are going to be making something from the Asian, Indian, Pakistani cuisine, something called stuffed parathas. Now, if you're wondering what on earth is stuffed parathas are two layers of chapatis, and in the middle you have a mixture of whatever filling you like. So the traditional fillings are potato, spice filling, and mincemeat kind of filling. So obviously, because we are restricted to vegetarian recipes, we're going to be doing a few vegetarian fillings. The first and most common and most traditional and very delicious is the potato spice filling. So it's almost like two chapatis, and they kind of stuck glued together with the filling of potato inside. And then a traditional paratha is cooked with lots of ghee and butter, but we're going to be doing a different version, something a bit more healthier, and we're going to be cooking it with olive oil just a little bit. So this is a really healthy recipe, and I'm hoping that you all have access to wholemeal flour. If you don't, you can buy a wholemeal flour from any supermarkets, any shops, any local Asian shops. But the good thing is you can buy this from any Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, anywhere. And if you want to inquire what the packaging looks like or what it's called, I'll send you some pictures and some links where you can find them easily. If you don't have flour, if you don't have wholemeal flour, you can use normal white flour, but the whole purpose of wholemeal flour is because it's got lots of wheat, so it's packed with fiber. So there's different lengths of wheat. So you have light wheat flour, dark strong wheat flour, and then you have whole wheat flour. This is whole wheat flour, so this is 100% wheat, which means it's packed with fiber. Right, so we're going to start off by making the flour mixture, the dough mixture, because we need to let it set for a good 5-6 minutes, 10 minutes maybe in the fridge, just for it to bind together. So I'm just going to show you how traditionally we would bind the dough. Now, just to remind you all, I am a healthy eating teacher, but you have to be a professional paratha maker to make a really good paratha really quickly. I'm not a professional person in making parathas. Traditionally it's the moms and like the grandmas who have the really cool techniques of making them. So I'm just going to show you my technique, which is, it's simple, it's easy, it's not that technical. And obviously when I got married and moved out and I had my own kids, I had to learn my own way of making it, and I didn't have the time to do the long kind of techniques that my mother used to do. So hopefully this will be very easy to follow. If I can make it, trust me, anyone can make it. Right, so we've got some whole wheat flour here. I've not added anything in here. There's no salt, no spices. If you like, you can add a pinch of salt to give it a bit of taste, entirely up to you. We're not adding any spices or anything in here because the spices are going to be in the filling. Right, and I've got some water here. I'm not going to give you the exact measurements of water because this is something you need to judge by your own kind of judgment. It depends how much flour you have, and you just add enough water to get a good consistency. It's all about the technique of adding the water. So we're just going to add a little bit first in the middle, and then just going to give it a good mix. Let the mixture crumble a little bit, almost like you're making puff pastry. Right, once a little bit of water has got a few crumbles, and you add a little bit more water. My dad used to always say, if you have anger issues, this is a really good therapeutic way of releasing your anger. Just take all your anger out on your dough, and the more anger you take out, the more good your dough is going to be. So if you want to take some frustration out, anxiety out, this is a really therapeutic way, and I just love doing this. Right, some more water. So different recipes will tell you different temperatures of water. Some people would say add really cold water, some people would say boiling hot from the kettle, some would say lukewarm. I've tried all of them. I prefer just lukewarm water from the tap, really. So there we go. I don't have my bird singing today. My other phone's gone dead, but it doesn't matter. Right. And then, yes, there is a technique of making the dough, and that's just to make a tight fist and punch into the dough. Again, you can just do it however you like. And if you have an electric stand mixer, you can make this dough easily, very, very easily in the electric dough mixer. I have one, but I'm not using that right now because I just want to show you how easy it is to make it from just by your hand as well. It's the 5th week of quarantine now. It's getting quite tough for some. It's getting quite hard, but life carries on and you just have to carry on life, just excluding all the outside world. It's not easy, and if you've got little kids like I have, then it can get a bit tough. But luckily, our schools are doing really, really well in the sense of keeping in touch with the kids, and that's keeping them really busy because they have work to do every single day, tasks to complete, so that keeps them busy. But it's after like 3-4 o'clock where they just get really frustrated and I have to do non-stop activities with them. I'm sure if you have kids or grandkids, you probably understand what it's like. Right, we're almost there. I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay, so the dough is done now. That was just an extra 2 minutes of more kneading and the dough's done, and I'm just going to get a tiny bit of olive oil just so this doesn't stick to the bowl, and I'm just going to spread it around just on the sides a little bit. And then I'm going to get some cling film, cover it up, and just put it on the side. You can stick it in the fridge if you like, or you can just leave it out for about 10 minutes. Just let it set, almost like a glue kind of form. Right, before I get to the fillings, I'm going to make one more dough mixture, and this is just a bonus for you all, a little surprise. So I'm going to make one more dough mixture. This is a small amount because I'm just going to make a small amount of this. But instead of using water, I'm going to be using fresh beetroot juice because I'm going to be making beetroot paratha. And if the regular ladies remember, then in the beginning of my classes I made beetroot and spinach chapatis once, but today we're going to be making beetroot parathas, but I'm not going to be putting beetroot in the filling. It's going to be in the actual dough mixture. So this is one fresh beetroot which I've just literally blended. I didn't boil it, I didn't cut it in, like shredded it, or let it dry out. I just got a fresh beetroot and I blended it in my blender, my food processor, until it's into a liquid kind of consistency. And this is going to go in my, can you see the thickness? It's, it's so beautiful. One reason why I just love this vegetable oil is just because I just can't stop admiring it. Don't hesitate worrying that it's going to leave a stain on your skin, on your hands. It's going to go away soon. It's going to go away as soon as you wash it. So I'm just going to give this a good mix, and then you'll be able to see how beautiful the colour turns. Keep mixing it. Right, did a bit of a mistake by getting a small bowl, but that's fine, no problem. We can manage. Just going to add a bit more mixture. And again, you can use any vegetable you like. If you want to make it a vegetable kind of dough mixture, you can use spinach, you can use carrots, you can use courgettes. Just completely blend them. And if your blender food processor needs a bit of help of some water just to get all the mixture going, then don't hesitate, add some water. Right, I'm just gonna come back. Right, and there is our beetroot dough mixture ready. Can you believe that there's no food colouring in here? It's just beetroot. I think it's such a beautiful vegetable to cook with that you can just spend the whole time just admiring the colour. It's also such a versatile vegetable. You can make so many things with it. So you can make soup, like I'm making parathas. You can make beetroot pizzas, beetroot smoothies, beetroot ice cream. We made a beetroot cake just a few days ago. Really, really tasty. All right, this is going to go on the side as well, and this is going to set. And while that's doing that, we are going to prepare our fillings. Right, so as I mentioned, we've got a couple of fillings that we're going to be doing. The first one is a traditional potato filling. The second one that we're going to be doing is a radish filling, and the third one is going to be a carrot filling. Now the reason why I'm showing you all of these fillings is to show you how easy it is to do different fillings. You know, people think, oh, you're a vegan or you're a vegetarian, that's so boring. No, it's not boring actually. You can do so many things with it, and you can cook with any vegetables that you have at home, any vegetables, every fruit, but you just need to be a bit fun and creative. People wouldn't really think that you could do anything apart from potato and mincemeat filling in a parathas, but actually you can. Right, so we're going to prepare our filling. So for that we need to really finely cut 2 red onions. Again, I always say there's no rules, there's no strict rules that you need to follow. If you don't have red onions, you can use white onions. You don't have white onions, you can put dry onions, or you don't even have to put onions. I just feel that putting onions in gives a really nice crunch in the parathas. Some paratha experts will probably disagree and say, oh no, you're not supposed to put parathas. I just believe that, you know, you can just be exciting and do whatever you like, as long as you follow like the basic kind of recipe guide. So here we have it. We've got 2 red onions. And I'm not going to spend hours cutting my red onions in front of you. I'm going to put them into my little mini food chopper. This is probably one of the cheapest things I've brought from eBay, but it's probably the most expensive thing that I would lose if I was to lose it or break it in my kitchen, because this is just such a handy tool, and you'll see why in a second. Okay. Right, so you just pull the string, open it up, and voila, all your onions are chopped for you. So I'm going to add the rest of the onions in. And the reason why I'm doing it in this, because the onions need to be quite fine. Oh look, my jumper's matching with the onions. What a coincidence. Right. Yeah, because the onions need to be quite fine, otherwise they're going to poke out through the dough, and you don't really want that. A bit of energy. Let's give that 3 more pulls. One last one. One more. Okay, there we go. It'll probably take me 10 minutes if I was going to do this by hand. So there's our onions done, and we're going to add the onions into our potato mixture. Right, there we go. And I'll scrape that all afterwards properly. And also we're going to add in here some coriander. I've got some fresh coriander here. I'm just going to take it, this is washed. I'm just going to take it. You want lots of coriander. Herbs just so nice. So, it goes so well with Asian cooking. If you don't have coriander, you can use parsley. You can even add some spinach leaves instead. It's just, I think it's more, apart from the taste, it's the colour as well. The colour combination just looks so beautiful. And you'll see why when we get mixing. Right. So let me just chop these. You know, I'm actually thinking of doing a knife course, a professional knife course. Right, to speed up my knife skills. Right, now we are going to add in the coriander into our mixture. There we go. And I should have got a bigger bowl, but completely forgot. Right, now goes in the spices. For the spices we have, again I'm going to give you all the description of the quantities in the description box, all the quantities. So we have here 1 tablespoon of salt, some chili powder, some, God, I always forget what this is called, zira, so this is called cumin seeds, and this is some dried coriander powder. All of this just it's just made for Asian cooking. The combination just goes so well. So again, if you don't have these spices, you can add whatever spices according to your own preferences. So we can add this in here, and then I'm going to give this a good mix. Get a spoon. Just get a wooden spoon. I'm just going to give this a good mix. Can you see how the colors just complement each other so well? The purple, or should we say the red onions and the coriander. Right. Okay, so our mixture is now ready. Everything's been blended in really well. I've got green chilies here just to show you that you can add green chilies in here as well, just to give it a really good kick, just to when you take a nice crunch and a nice bite. Again, these are your preferences. You can add them if you like, and you can leave them out if you like. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of lemon juice, a very tiny bit, because I don't want to make this mixture become wet. Now this is our base ready for our mixture, for all our other ingredients, for all our other mixtures as well. So for example, the radish, this cannot go into a paratha as it is. It needs to have some form of glue. So I'm going to take out 2 spoons of our potato mix, 2.5, and then just mix it in here, just to give this a glue kind of form. Okay, and that's ready. And then we're going to do the same with our carrots. Now the carrots I've boiled. I boiled and then I shredded them, and then I kept the juice, and I squeezed out the juice, and I've kept the juice separate in a bowl here, which I'm going to use in a smoothie maybe in the morning. Right, so again, take out 2 scoops of our potato mixture and add it into the carrots, just to make it into a thick, reasonable kind of form. Once that is done, our carrot filling is now done as well. If you have sweet potato is a really nice filling as well. You just need to mash them and just use it in the same way you would use potato. I'm going to add some more spices in here. It's the same spices, just in very smaller quantities, because the carrot is quite sweet and the dough is quite bland, so you need to make sure your filling has a bit of a kick to it. Whether you're using spices or fresh chilies, whatever you do, just make sure that you don't just taste it and say, oh, that's enough for me, because you've got to imagine it between the layer of 2 doughs. It needs to be able to balance, have a balanced kind of taste. And again, I forgot to add in the spices in the radish mixture as well. Radish is also a very common filling. It's not a very common filling. It's something that I think was a bit later discovered in the Asian culture as a filling for parathas. But I don't know how they figured out the food chemistry between the food kind of combinations of parathas and radish, but they just go really well too. And it just happens to be that I was able to buy some radish today. Right. We are going to start making our parathas now. So I'm going to get the dough, and I'm just going to clean my surface one little time. Just wipe it down. Okay, because you need a bit of space for this. And please don't judge me with my paratha skills. They're not great, but they will do the job. Okay, here we go. This is our key tool that we need to make these. Right, you need some dry flour, some dry wholemeal flour, same flour that you're going to be using in your dough. You need this just to rub on your surface and just to dip your dough in. I'm going to show you them now. Right, before we start, I'm going to put my pan on very low heat, just to get it starting to get it heating up. Right, a small amount, just a handful of your dough. Roll it around in your hands. Okay, doke. And dip it into your flour like that. And do that twice. If you feel like you're not going to be able to get the same amounts, then get a measuring cup or some kind of tool that you can get the same kind of or very similar kind of amounts. And then just rub that. Right, so we've got 2 doughs now here that we're going to be rolling out. There's different ways of making a paratha. Some people can make them, some people prefer to make them in 1, some people can make them in 2. I'm going to be making them in 2. I just find it so much more easier. So we're going to start with flattening out the dough in our hands. You don't need to be a pizza or pasta maker to, you know, deal with this kind of dough. It's really easy. And then dip it again one more time into our flour. And then just roll it out. Let's see what shape I make today. It's not going to be a circle, I can guarantee you that. It's all about the taste though. I always say it's all about the taste. It's not about how it looks. Well, actually it is about how it looks, but when it comes to parathas, which can be a bit complex, especially if you're a bit competitive, then I would just say it's about the taste. Right. We've almost got a circle. It's more of a square. Right, we're going to put this one on the side and we're going to make the next one. So again, roll it out from the sides, dip it in the dry flour, and then, so you just need to keep turning it around every time you're rolling. There's much faster ways of making this, but I'm not in a rush and I don't want to ruin it. So you probably get what I'm saying now about I'm not a professional at making these, but right, it's just about the right. Now the bigger one that you have, use that as your base on which you're going to be putting your mixture. Just gonna, because I don't want the dough to stick. Okay, and then with your hands make a little ball of mixture. I know this looks a bit messy, and then just spread it out onto the paratha, onto the chapati mixture. Okay, this is by not rolling the chapati out completely and letting it filling the mixture and then rolling it out, but you have to be a pro to be able to do that, and I can do that, but I'm purposely not doing that right now because I just want to show you how easy it is. And this is, I think this is a good way for beginners or people who have not done it before. And even if you're a quick learner, this is just an easy way just to start off making these parathas. Okay, and then we're going to put the second paratha on top and then just stick it from the sides like that. Stick it on the sides, turn it around, and with your rolling pin squeeze everything down. Don't worry if you find a few holes poking out. And now this is going to go in our pan, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to cook in the pan. Now, in the Asian culture, there's jokes about ladies going to the gym and exercising and then coming home and eating buttery parathas, because these traditional parathas are made with lots and lots of butter and lots of ghee. But like I said, I've never had well, I'm not going to lie, most of the time we don't have these parathas with butter, we have them with olive oil, and they taste just as good. Right, so this one's quite big, and this is going to go in the pan now, and then I'm going to show you how it looks in the pan. Alright, because this is quite a big one, we're going to cook it for about 10 seconds on one side and then quickly flip it. Oh, sorry about that. Flip it and then speed up the heat a little bit. And this is going to cook for about a minute on one side, and then we're going to flip it over again. Okay, so once it's been cooking for 1 minute on one side, turn it over, and then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil. Just that much. Now, the better olive oil you use, the more healthier. So this olive oil is from Spain. It's 100% extra virgin olive oil. You don't need to worry about whether it's going to stick to the pan or not. As long as you're using a non-stick pan, it's not going to stick. Now, for this part, make sure you stand back. If you're not new to making parathas, in this part, when you flip over the oil side of the paratha, it's going to give you a bit of a drizzle, a sizzling sound. Right, there we go. And then just press along as you're going along. And by pressing along, you're going to get these little small air pockets building up. And that's showing you that the paratha is cooking from both layers in the middle. Okay, and keep pressing, keep pressing. Try not to pop the air holes, because that's going to help in all the air circulating through the paratha and cooking throughout. Okay, and then do the same on this side, and then turn over again, and you can see, and keep doing that until you start getting a golden color on both sides. Okay, so we've got a really nice brown shine on both sides of the paratha, which means our paratha is now done. Now we're going to turn off the heat, and really easily, like a pro, slide on the paratha onto the plate, and there is our paratha done. Right, our paratha looks amazing and really, really nice, and I'm going to cut this in a little while and show you the layers in the middle. But first, we're going to make one more quick one with the beetroot, and this time I'm going to be using the carrot filling. And again, this is just to show you how easy it is to play around with the things that you have at home, you know, even the vegetables. And you don't need to follow the recipes. You don't need to be exact, oh, a carrot's only used in salads, or, you know, cucumbers only used to dip in hummus. You can use it in so many different ways and so many different things. So did you ever think that you could make a paratha, a rainbow paratha? So we're going to be making a beetroot, and this is so not traditional. This is so not traditional. But this is what you call fusion. So again, we're making two very similar sized doughs. And don't worry about the color of the paratha being covered by the flour. Once we roll them out and put them on the pan, the beetroot color is going to shine again. So I'm just going to just dip these in there, roll them out. And if you mix this really, really well, when you're making the dough, then the consistency of the dough is going to be exactly the same as a normal dough. You don't need to worry about bits coming out or it being a bit, you know, hard. It's all about how you mix it, how you blend it, how you mix the dough. And make sure you give it a bit of time to set. So I'm going to make this a slightly smaller one, because we're running out of time. And I want to make sure that you're able to see how easy it is and how delicious and how beautiful it looks. Okay, dip this in the mixture. Okay, Doug. Almost there. Right, at this point, I'm going to put on the pan. Right. Gonna get the flour, the carrot mixture. Look at that, orange and purple. Might be the new theme for my living room. I always do this whenever I cook with beautiful colors. I always imagine how they will look in my living room. Yeah, I have actually been thinking of getting beetroot type colors, cushions. I just love that look. That is so beautiful. Right, and then goes on the second layer of our paratha. Squeeze it from the sides. You can even do it with a fork. So get a fork and be all professional. But hey, if you know me, if the ladies know me from the class, they know I'm not a professional. I'm very rustic. Oops, don't worry about that. I'll wash my hands. just dust on some flour and get our dough, get our rolling pin and just roll it all out. I'm not sure in the class if we've made pasta already. If we haven't, then soon we're going to be making pasta, and we're not just going to be making plain pasta, but beetroot pasta and spinach and carrot pasta, and it's all going to be a bit like this. Right. So look, and I am going to put this in the pan, and I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's done. Okay guys, here we have it, our beautiful, gorgeous looking carrot stuffed beetroot paratha, and this is just looking so appetizing, I cannot tell you. I'm going to put this on the side and just make something to go on the side with our parathas, and I'm going to show you how they look when we're about to eat them. Right, so we're going to make a quick yogurt kind of chutney yogurt sauce to go with our parathas, and it's so simple and so easy. All you need is some yogurt, and you just put a handful of coriander, a handful of mint leaves. Do not worry about taking the stalks off, because really they just add more flavor, and 1 green chili. And we're not adding any spices in here, no sauces, because the herbs and the chilies are going to do all the magic themselves. That's from the beetroot. Oops. And oops. And that's going to go on. I'm going to show you how quick and easy that is. Alright ladies, here we have it. Here we have our potato stuffed normal paratha and our carrot stuffed beetroot paratha with some mint and coriander chutney. This just looks so gorgeous. So let's cut them in half and show you what they look like inside. I've got my pizza cutter here. Don't ask me why I'm using a pizza cutter. This is so not Italian cuisine, but anyway, it just looks good. So there we go, and let's cut that in another half. And there's our potato stuffed paratha. There we go, really thin layers of potato and onions. Looks so beautiful, and I can tell you how tasty they will be. And this is, I'm just excited about this one. So here we go, but check that out. Carrots and beetroot. Oops. Right, that looks so lovely. In fact, I have to end the video by tasting and tell you how delicious it tastes. So it's gonna dip that, turn it around like that. That is so lovely. That is so nice. And it's so easy to make and so versatile. We can make this with any type of fruits or vegetables. Sorry, not fruits, vegetables. Actually, you could try fruits as well. Entirely up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this food, and I hope to see you next week. And yeah, so next week I'm going to come up with some really good recipes for Ramadan. So as you know, from next week, actually from tomorrow or Friday onwards, our holy month of Ramadan is starting. It's a month of 30 days where we fast from sunrise to sunset. So we don't eat anything throughout the day. We only have like a breakfast type of meal at sunrise, just before sunrise, and then just after sunset we have our evening meal. It's a very meaningful month, but apart from the religious aspects, it's a really fun and a really welcoming and homey kind of atmosphere in everyone's homes, whoever's fasting. And so I'm going to be showing you a few recipes and maybe a few snack ideas. I'm not too sure yet. I haven't planned out next week's recipes, but I'm going to try and focus it with the Ramadan kind of theme, and it's for everyone. It's not just for the people who will be fasting, it's for everyone. So it's more like savory and sweet kind of healthy snack ideas, some things that can keep you well nourished and full of energy while you're fasting. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and hopefully see you soon. Alright ladies, you take care, bye bye.